We're winning the culture war, guys. We're finally winning. The left is finally admitting defeat. Now, obviously not all of them, but some of the people on the left are finally coming around to realize, like, hey, the things that we voted for and supported, turns out that those were bad ideas. Maybe we need to change our perspective on things. I'm sure everybody knows who the Young Turks is, and Anna Kasparian just had a massive meltdown about one of the grisly murders that happened in New York, and the murders were just released on bail. This is a pretty long clip, but I wanted to leave it in for the full context and so that you guys can see the full reaction to this, so check it out.
The CEO of the MTA says that 1% of subway suspects are responsible for more than 20% of the crime because of New York's bail reform laws, which allows them to go back out there and commit more crimes. But there was just a crime on Long Island where body parts were found all over Long Island. They had 4 suspects. They let them go. And now they're out there still. So what is the deal here? It sounds insane to me.
Though the crime that was brought was not what was bail eligible. Yes, murder is. Yes, conspiracy to commit murder is. Yes, assault is bail eligible. All those are. And I know the DA is working really hard with the Suffolk County Police Department to build the case they need to bring the charges that are necessary. The charges he brought, he did not have enough evidence at time to hold them.
So you can't hold them?
Not on the charges he brought. But those are low-level charges. They really weren't. And we can work to make those bail eligible in the next session.
Dismembering a corpse and hiding a corpse after dismembering it, not bail eligible, not a serious crime. I'm not even kidding, guys. Like, when Joy Behar outlined that case, I was like, she's crazy. This isn't a thing. This isn't real. This isn't real. So I looked it up. It's real, guys. It's real. Listen, if being on the left means supporting this, then I'm not on the left, and I'm okay with that. So let me give you the details of the case.
It doesn't mean that.
Okay, I don't know. Let me give you the details.
On the left. We're all on the left. We don't want people dismembering folks getting released. Only a couple of lunatic.
Some do. I
know. What I was in the middle of saying is only a couple of lunatic activists are like, yeah, we're pro dismemberment guys being let go. Okay, whatever. You don't represent the left at all.
Dismembered bodies. It's so unfair to put them in prison. Okay, let me give you the details of the actual case, okay? So 4 people were arrested in New York after body parts were found in Long Island. Okay, dismembered body parts. The victims were, 2 people from Yonkers, older individuals. Suffolk County Police say 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, and 33-year-old Alexis Neves were charged with concealment of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and hindering prosecution. They have not been charged with murder. Prosecutors told a judge there was so much blood in pipes, sink, shower, and toilet of the Railroad Avenue home in Amityville where the suspects were arrested that it was deemed uninhabitable. Police said they confiscated meat cleavers, butcher knives, flesh, and body parts. Attorneys for Brown and Mackey admitted that their clients lived in that home where the body parts and all that blood was found, but denied chopping up the 59-year-old woman and 53-year-old man whose last known address was in Yonkers. Wallace also lived with Brown and Mackey in Amityville. Police said that Knives is homeless. Okay, all 4 pleaded not guilty. The judge released them without bail. They were fitted with GPS monitoring and must report in-person probation and surrender their passports.
I don't care about their passports.
Dude, guys, like what? Okay, so did further research because I just couldn't believe it. Here's more. With 2019 state reforms, mutilation and disposal of murdered corpses are among crimes that are no longer bail eligible. The DA said the 4 went to barbaric lengths to cover the crime. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, Cenk? What are we doing? What are we doing? Someone tell me, what the F are we doing?
Yeah, look, no one signed up for this. I don't know how the hell any of these laws passed. I went to every progressive conference there was over the last 20 years. I never heard a single person saying, why don't we let the actual criminals go? Hey, if someone butchers someone and chops them up into little pieces, let's do the kind of criminal justice reform where they would be able to walk out free.
Yeah, come at me right now and tell me I'm the bad guy, because I want these people who dismembered corpses and tried to conceal the evidence in prison. Come at me and tell me I'm the bad guy. Come at me.
Look, guys.
Insane, you guys are insane. Anyone who thinks this is okay is insane. And everyone else in New York has to suffer the consequences of this with random bag checks at the subway by National Guard troops.
How did this happen? How did this happen? How do you guys not know how this happened? You guys literally voted for the people who enacted these laws. Like, I'm confused how you're confused here, because like this makes total perfect sense to anyone who has a rational grip on reality. We all realize what happened here. You guys are the ones who are like all confused as to like, how did this happen? We all tried to tell you like this was gonna happen. When you defund the police, when you reform bail, when you do all these things to the law to just release criminals, like we all knew it was eventually going to get to this point. I mean, but even us who were warning about this, none of us thought it was going to get to this point this quickly. We were warning about this thinking, oh, it's going to be a few years away. Oh no, it's happening now. Not only that, the fact that he said nobody wanted to let the actual criminals go. Well, I mean, what were y'all doing by letting people out of jail who literally burned down like federal courthouses over the summer of love back in 2020, you know, the George Floyd quote unquote protests, which, I mean, let's be real. Those were the most expensive riots in US history, according to insurance companies. Like, it's also rich that what you just heard is coming from a guy who says that, you know, illegal aliens in this country are not illegals, they're migrants. When it's like, but now you're going to complain about the state releasing actual criminals, when it's like, well, obviously his definition of illegal or criminal is not the same definition that everyone else is using, which is, you know, if you break the law, that's illegal, therefore you are a criminal. It seems like Young Turks have a different understanding of the definitions of the word illegal and criminal. You know, that's kind of why I like to call him Chunk, because, you know, yeah, his name is Cenk Uygur, but like in my mind, he's just Chunk, because I swear to God, I've met rocks that were smarter than this man. Like, this dude is a total blockhead. Check out this next clip.
At a time where we have the right wing, which has lost its mind, you're taking good people that would normally be on the left and driving them to the right wing with this madness. And no one agreed to it. I don't mean the voters, I mean on the left. When did we have a vote? When did we decide in a primary or a ballot measure that we should do any of this? I never once heard it at any progressive get together, any progressive, no one has ever proposed this. All of a sudden in 2019, these activists popped up in all these cities, and they're like, okay, you know what? Like,
how did they succeed? I want to know.
They got massive funding.
How
where the hell did the money come from? The left doesn't have money for anything, and all of a sudden they had infinite money to finance lunatic activists who are saying, oh, let all the criminals go. Are you insane?
What do you mean nobody agreed to it? What do you mean nobody voted on it? Like, you guys literally elected the Democrat politicians who enacted these laws. Like, how are you not putting 2 and 2 together, bro? Like, it's really quite simple. The politicians you elect are the people who make the law, and the law is the reason that these things are happening right now. So, like, do you not connect all those dots and follow them to the source, which is actually you guys, the voters who elected the politicians? Do you not understand how democracy works, Cenk? I also find it highly ironic that they are just absolutely baffled as to how these activists have massive funding. It's like the Young Turks don't realize that they are a literal mouthpiece of the propaganda machine. Like, they don't also take money from George Soros. I mean, they might not, but I'm pretty sure they do. Like, come on. You guys, it's like they don't understand that they are just the mouthpiece of the billionaires, and the Democrat Party has become the party of the ultra wealthy. And that's why the people who are doing what the you know, the true Democrat Party wants are the people who have all the funding. Like, how do you think Nikki Haley was able to spend $78 million on advertising for a completely failed campaign? She's a Democrat, and she was doing exactly what the Democrats wanted, which was to interfere with Trump, to try and draw votes away from Trump. Like, it was just like in the summer of 2020 when all the George Floyd riots were happening. You know, here in Houston, like, right when all the George Floyd protests started happening, all of a sudden, there were just pallets upon pallets of bricks delivered on every single street corner in downtown Houston. Me and my friends, we all saw it. We were all like, who the fuck paid for all these pallets of bricks? Like, there was one on every goddamn street corner, guys. Like, that's how we all knew that was just a complete and total psyop. Like, that's just straight up, like, CIA propaganda right there. Like, where did the bricks come from, guys? Obviously, there's a bunch of rich people who are supporting these protests. And let's be real, when rich people are doing something, they usually have ulterior motives. They don't just do things because it makes them feel good. I mean, some of them do, but, you know, usually rich people are trying to make a buck off of something, and they're trying to, you know, cause some type of controversy or some type of issue or scene so that they can get something else done or some other law passed or make some money off of something. Like, it's pretty obvious how the world works to those of us who have our eyes open. But to blockheads like Chunk Uger, the brainwashing is too strong in him. He cannot put down the brainwashing and see reality for what it is. I mean, at least Anna's starting to wake up a little bit, you know? I almost feel sorry for her because she's kind of just stuck with this blockhead. Like, I don't think she knew what she was signing up for when she signed on to the Young Turks. But hey, I'm more than happy to react and watch this dumpster fire. So if you like what you see, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. YouTube shadow banned me, so if you don't see my videos come up in your recommended, that's why.